Picture this. It's 2002, you've just seen Tekken 4 and PS2 for the first time, so you go to your dad and say,
"Dad, can we have the new Tekken?"
To which he responds with,
"But we have the new Tekken at home."
and then you experience the new Tekken at home.
Ready? Fight!
Being lied to when buying pirate copies was something natural. I mean, that's how I got Digimon World in the first place. It was sold to my dad as a Pokemon game for PlayStation. One of my friends got A Bug's Life because he really liked the Ant Z movie, and they sold it as that, the Ant Z game. The game doesn't sell, just marketed as a spin-off or an unknown sequel to a more popular title. But yeah, such trickery has made me a proud owner of Kensei Sacred Fist. But you know what? For me, it was just another cool game to play, and I had a lot of fun with it. I know that when you look at the menu screen, you instantly think about Tekken. Then you see a typical match, a character with a similar moveset to one you've played in the other game, because, you know, they were both based on the same real fighting style. And then you start to notice that the game is weirdly slow, like not 24 frames per second bad. The frame rate is actually great and fluid, it's just that the characters and moves come a lot slower than you're probably used to. What a shitty ripoff, you're probably thinking to yourself from simply watching this game. And that's why you should actually try games for yourself, instead of just watching them before actually passing a judgment, because your eyes won't tell you how much better Kensei feels to play when you're actually the one behind the controller. The choice to make the gameplay slower was deliberate and makes fights more strategic and, dare I say, realistic? I know it sounds strange when you can just suplex a guy to the ground and he'll just get up, but the moves performed by characters are pretty much emulating real-life martial arts, and with the slower tempo you actually feel the weight of each hit a lot more than in the other faster titles. And with how easy it is to punish someone who throws random attacks, it also counters button mashers quite a bit. And there's no real reason to button mash anyway, as the combos and more impressive techniques are really easy to pull off once you know how. And even if you don't, by trying out combinations that make sense, you still can make decent progress without looking like an idiot. Which segues nicely to controls and actually performing the moves. While Tekken and most other fighting games maps 2 face buttons to punching and 2 to kicking, Kensei reserves just one for punching, square, and another one for kicking, triangle. Meanwhile, circle is used for command grabs and holds, while holding X blocks any attacks. Sure, these ideas were used in other games, Dead or Alive and Soul Blade respectively, but in combination present here, they make for a really enjoyable fighting system, and each fighting style really does feel different, with a plethora of moves that are just enjoyable to watch. Some characters can even change fighting stances, thus expanding their movesets even more. But the true icing on the cake is how you play wrestler characters. Sure, they still have normal kicks and punches, but they are simply nothing in comparison to the grabs and holds they can perform. They are like a game within a game, really. Now, with how easy it is to just get out of hold, this playstyle feels just a little bit unrewarding for the hassle that you have to go through. You also can parry attacks using the grab command. Blocks and parries are tricky, but if you manage to pull them off, especially in quick succession, they make for a great spectacle. Speaking of that, by pressing a button while falling down, you can break the fall, thus setting you up for your own counter-strike. Oh, another stylistic choice is that there's no jumping or crouching, at least not as a separate action. You still perform air and crouching attacks if you hold up or down respectively. And while removing crouching is a bit puzzling, I'm so happy that jumping got the boot. I mean, it always looked so goofy and wasn't fun at all. I wouldn't mind if some characters had expanded air combat or movement, but in pseudo-realistic 3D fighting games, moon jumps just don't belong. Let's break it up by briefly talking about the art direction, because there are some words that need to be dropped. The first time you'll get to the character select, see the stylized portraits that look weirdly uncanny, you'll feel like you're playing something that a normal man shouldn't play. The arenas that feel like liminal spaces also don't help. It's just like playing something that was created for a movie or a music video. Unreal. And just plain wrong. But you play it anyway. At least the music is fairly normal affair, and there's nothing that would make you feel even more uncomfortable, right? Nah, the music is pretty good, and there are some absolute banger tier tracks. You start the game with 9 characters to choose from, with another 13 waiting for you to unlock them by playing the arcade mode. Nothing special, really. You fight through 8 regular opponents, then face the unlockable character that serves a purpose of rival of some sorts. Sadly, each of these rival characters uses a very similar moveset to the character you use to unlock them. Still, every single one of them has some additional moves, and their regular animations differ a bit, which may cause you to not actually notice that they are very similar. The variety is still there. Then, after kicking their ass, you have to... Oh god! Yeah, imagine seeing that face and then listening to this. I remember Zhao being a nightmare when I was younger. He hits hard, has a smaller model, and it's just plain unnerving. I mean, he's just a fat, creepy Chinese guy, and he's there, and you fight him. You can also unlock him after getting all rival characters and then beating the game again with one from the initial 9. His moveset is extremely bare bones, but then again, he doesn't need no fancy combos to wreak havoc. By the way, his only command grab is this. And it's extremely funny to me. Imagine being a fighter who trained their whole life to compete, and then some fat guy basically does this to you the whole match while laughing. I'm pretty sure that it's so damaging because it crushes the ego of its target. Humiliation indeed. Oh, and if you manage to win one round against Zhao, you get to fight the actual big bad. Yeah, that was a surprise to me. I mean, in other games I fought demons or gods as final bosses, and here's just some really pale guy who actually is extremely easy to beat. Like, he has nothing on Zhao, which makes sense as Zhao is Kaya's bodyguard and was pretty much protecting him from you. This game has a plot, but to be honest, I don't know where you could originally read it. I mean, there is one page in the PAL manual which is suspiciously missing in the NTSC version, and then there are short character bios for the initial 9. It doesn't really matter, but I'm just baffled when seeing the Kensei Wiki having long paragraphs about each character. Like, where did they get it from? Kensei's website? Anyway, Kaya, who uses a modified moveset of his own daughter, gets wrecked and then the credits roll. No congratulatory FMV, not even a text describing what your character is up to now, just a list of names scrolling. Disappointing, to say the least. Then again, at least we unlocked another character in the end. Speaking of characters, I love the idea of a guest character. You know, a character from another series or real life that was put in to attract a new crowd. It's a great tactic, as some of these casuals actually stay playing the game because they found it fun. I mean, look at how popular Smash is. And even if I don't really like its gameplay formula, I just had to play another game featuring Solid Snake. But yeah, some games really do try too hard to lure new players in. Kensei's guest character was the reason why I decided to show you this game in the first place. Well, that and the fact that it is actually my favorite fighting game. Yep, there, I've said it. I'm done being silent like I did through the years. Kensei Sacred Fist is truly a gem when it comes to PS1 fighting games. Original, with many brilliant modifications to the classic formula. That is cool to watch, easy to understand, and it doesn't take months to become proficient at it. A great entry point for anyone who wants to start his journey with a wonderful genre that are fighting games, or when you want to have some silly fun with your mates. But the guest character, he is actually available from the start for you to choose, and he is the bullshit master himself, Steven Seagal. I mean, he was named Douglas for copyright reasons, but from his portrait, the model, the garish suits, and his fighting style, yeah, he's pretty much the guy. You can even recreate his fighting style from the newer movies, as in hit your enemy till you get the health advantage, and then just rest and play defensively. It will work every time, when playing on the normal difficulty at least. Come to think of it, It's really weird that the default round time limit is set so low, especially with the slower pace of the game. You'll get timeouts quite often. And if you also lower the difficulty and set fights to be one round only, you'll unlock every character in less than 2 hours. Back to Steven. I wish to think that he was at least a decent martial artist back in the day when he started getting roles. But I don't know, man. Still, having rewatched his old movies recently, I still enjoyed them a lot. Especially both Liberator movies. And then it hit me. You know, having Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Hulk Hogan, or Dennis Rodman XPs as fighters felt perfectly normal. So why not Steven Seagal? Maybe Konami themselves just wanted to make the game feel like a B-movie by employing a B-movie star. And you know what? They've succeeded, if that was their intention. Another super memorable thing about the game is the final character you'll most likely unlock. A guy in a parrot mask called Jerry Thomas. Or Jelly Thomas. Really? I tell ya, if you ever feel bad about making a blunder at your work, just think that someone got paid for this. Jelly and his brother Billy, who wears a penguin mask instead, are both really fun characters to play, with a musical theme that is just Japanese heavy metal. Something utterly bonkers is always the greatest reward for going the distance to unlock everything. But wait, there's more! After getting every character in the game, you also unlock the mysterious extra mode, which is a minigame called Running Buggy. Buggy being the Japanese title of the game. Yeah, I don't get it either. Anyway, you just select your character and then run around a track placed in a void. There are no other racers, just your character pacing, taking on difficult corners like a champ. Racing Buggy symbolizes an eternal struggle of a man trying to better themselves, just like any other rally game. I wish there were times set up by the developers for the players to beat the DAO, but then again, you get a really unexpected funny minigame for free as a reward for your dedication to the game. So, who am I to whine about it? And it got Steven more exercise in just a few minutes than he did for the last 10 or so years. Finishing words. Kensei Sacred Fist is an underappreciated yet very good fighting game that is definitely worth your time.
Get it.
Play it for an hour to satisfy your curiosity and get the ability to say,
I beat up teenage girls as Steven Seagal in a video game.
Curiously, it was very well received in Europe, getting a 9 in the official UK PlayStation magazine and being the game on the cover of the Polish one, with other magazines also giving it high notes, as in 7 or higher. Meanwhile, in the US it was panned. Well, I suppose that we're just built differently. I simply wish they had put in the team battle mode, but that's all it is lacking in my opinion. That and a proper sequel, as Konami kinda dropped fighting games altogether after Kensei. The game is great, even if it looks like it's totally not. Obviously, being my fighter of choice, it gets a complete recommendation.